Hi, everybody. I wanted to jump on here really quickly and talk about this Jimmy Kimmel story. So last night, he returned to his show. He was canceled, guys. They had pulled him off the air because he made statements that everyone didn't agree with. I'll put it that way. And I need you guys to realize just how scary that is. One of the best things about the United States is, one, it's always been a melting pot, but that's trying to change. And two, you always had freedom of speech. And if we don't have freedom of speech, then we don't have a United States of America. How scary is it to be forced to think the way someone else thinks, to take on their beliefs? It's scary as hell. It really, really is. And I don't really understand the people who feel you have to think like me, or you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your livelihood, you're going to lose your way of life, you're going to lose your culture because you don't think like I do. And even worse, they are trying to monitor what jokes are being told. Really? Now you have to tell comedians, yeah, you can tell your jokes, but tell them my way. I mean, really, there's a choice. If somebody tells you a joke that you don't like, how about just don't laugh? Our country, you guys, is changing by the day, and it's just turning into a really scary place. However, a lot of people did come out in support of Jimmy Kimmel. There were protests, there were famous people, a lot of people came forward because they understood Jimmy today, you tomorrow.
What does your sign say?
It says they're literally canceling culture.
What do you mean by that?
To cancel television shows or media or entertainment. That is our culture, and they are crushing that to appeal.
If you agree that the FCC shouldn't be in the business of calling out dissenting voices and trying to threaten them, then you should take some sort of action, whether that's doing this or donating to the ACLU or coming out to protest. If you feel strongly about it, do something.
This is unprecedented. We are looking at an authoritarian government crackdown on free speech. Anything that they don't agree with, they are more than willing to use their power to ignore the First Amendment. They need to put Kimmel back on the air, and they need to start having a backbone, because if our media companies are going to fold on the First Amendment, this country is in trouble.
And it's just not television, you guys. It's YouTube also. But I'm not allowed to talk about it. We are experiencing a censorship that has never been seen before. But let's talk about Jimmy's coming out last night. Here's a couple of clips from his last night's show.
I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of a young man. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Our freedom to speak is what they admire most about this country, and that's something I'm embarrassed to say I took for granted until they pulled my friend Steven off the air and tried to coerce the affiliates who run our show in the cities that you live in to take my show off the air. That's not legal. That's not American. That is un-American, and it is so dangerous. I want you to think about this. Should the government be allowed to regulate which podcasts the cell phone companies and Wi-Fi providers are allowed to let you download to make sure they serve the public interest? Do you think that sounds crazy? No! 10 years ago, this sounded crazy. Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC, telling an American company, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, and that these companies can find ways to change conduct and take action on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead. In addition to being a direct violation of the First Amendment, is not a particularly intelligent threat to make in public. You almost have to feel sorry for him. He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced millions of people to watch the show. That backfired bigly. He might have to release the Epstein files to distract us from this now. And I am a tiny part of the Disney Corporation. They welcomed me back on the air, and I thank them for that. Unfortunately, and I think unjustly, this puts them at risk. The United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
Now, for me personally, it probably should have ended there. I would have ended it there and moved on. I do understand you wanted to stand up for your friend, Stephen Colbert. I get that. And you have every right to do that. And you probably, feel for him because he's really going through it like you did. So you want to support him. I would have ended it there. But of course, he got a response this morning. And I would really call it a very immature, luring response. It said, "I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. We were told by ABC that his show was canceled. Something happened then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who put the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive garbage? He is yet another arm. To the best of my knowledge, that would be a major illegal campaign contribution. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Let Jimmy Kimmel rot in his bad ratings." But if I were you, I would not have taken the bait. Do not take the bait. You won. When you win, that's it. There really isn't much to say, but he made a posting in response to the response that he got. He said, "It is very clear he wants me and hundreds of other people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke." And then the former VP, she greenlit it, or I don't know, she liked it and told everyone to forward and send out her posting. Now, there is a group that has been formed. This is the same group that worked for Kimmel. Now they're trying to do Colbert and possibly The View. And not just The View as a whole, specifically Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg. They have been getting threats saying that we are coming after you, we want you off the air, and you know who's doing the threats. And they want them off of the air because of the way that they think. They think different than other people. And so instead of saying we've got two differences of opinion, let's agree to disagree, they want to yank them. And it's a reason that they want to yank them. They don't want to spread that influence. So instead of giving people two choices, you're not going to have a choice at all. You are forced to think and have this certain agenda like this group over here. And let me end my video by saying this. The U.S. is a very different place than when I grew up. The 90s were great. They were really great. And I thought we're heading in a good direction. But the U.S. is just, it's not what it used to be. It's not a place that makes me proud. It's the land of confusion and, backwardness. And I hope that changed, but I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. So now my prayer is, please don't make this a permanent change. That's how I feel about it. Let me know down in the comment sections what you think about what's going on. And remember, we can't use certain names. So let's just have a respectable debate down in the comment section. In the meantime, I'll see you guys later. I'll be back in about 2 hours. Until next time, bye for now.